Well, hello, Craig. Happy Friday to you.
Oh, back for another week of fun and games.
And games. And I got to see you for lunch today, which was nice because it's your birthday this weekend. So
That's right. I
that's
turned 30.
so he's so old. He's so much older than me.
Dirty 30.
Yes. Uh, so yeah, sorry about the delay. For those of you watching live, I had to go out and get hashtag emergency pizza. Um, that I'm
Yeah, I love how automatically it's just assumed that it's me.
yeah, I love that. I kind of was.
The fat kid wants pizza. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could eat some pizza right now.
Uh, so the reason that it took so long is because I am a bit of a pizza snob,
Yes, you
and
are a hashtag snob.
I am a pizza hipster because I grew up in the Northeast where we have real pizza, and so there's only one place that I will go to get pizza, and it is Tony's New York Pizza in Fair Lakes.
If
There's also one in
anyone if anyone from Tony's is listening, we are looking for a sponsor
exactly.
for Nats Talk on the Go, so
Seriously.
just
Uh,
slide a couple pies over our way. We'll be good. No one will get
I,
hurt.
yeah, no, don't even need money. Just free pizza. Uh, but I love the New York style pizza. Love the thin crust, crispy one with the Sicilian today.
Oh yeah.
And gotta be honest, flavor's very good. Little soggy.
Oh no. Well, you got it takeout, right?
I did get it
Well,
takeout.
that's the problem because
I
it
know.
sits in the box
Yeah.
and it steams itself
Well,
and
that's
it's
true. Like it does steam itself and get all goopy,
trust me, I know about pizza. Fat kid knows pizza.
but the flavors are delicious. So maybe if you get it there, it wouldn't be so bad.
It's true.
But I did definitely get an entire Sicilian pizza for myself, so that's fine.
You know what? One time I was with my brother and we got two Little Caesars hot and ready pizzas and we ate them both.
Nice.
I actually ate 9 slices of pizza that day.
God bless America.
Yep.
It's a lot.
Hashtag Craig's a fat kid.
That is a lot of pizza. Oh God.
Oh,
Uh,
it was not a pleasant rest of the day that I had.
seriously. So quick shout out if you're watching on the YouTube or if you follow me on Twitter, you'll notice my new avatar is should be up with today's hangout, and that was courtesy of MD underscore DC on Twitter. He just did that totally unprompted, and I laughed very hard, and then made it my avatar everywhere
Everywhere,
because
yes.
it's so good. Just wanted to do that quick shout out.
Nice.
All right, so I guess there's baseball to talk about.
Are we done with banter?
I mean, do you have things to bant about?
Well, too bad. I was gonna say we're never actually done with banter.
No, I mean the whole show is banter,
Yeah.
but it's fun. It's fun banter. Uh, yeah. So, anything else? No more
Uh,
banter for you?
I mean, I guess not.
Okay.
I like
Uh,
date night with Craig and Joe.
this is like Date Night with Kirk and Joe. I'm a huge fan, and I see you twice today, and yeah, it's good. Uh, so of course, after we recorded the last episode of Nats Talk on the Go, the Nats made a trade within an hour.
Oh yeah, immediately.
Yeah. I went downstairs away from my phone after the show, and I had done editing, and I came up and had a text message be like, "So Ben Revere," and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
So we decided to wait a week rather than go on and do like the 25-minute hit the next day like we usually do, because we figured there'd be more things to talk about, and there are a few more. So Ben Revere is now the Washington Nationals center fielder, and he was acquired for Drew Storen. So as we kind of predicted, I think we talked about it last week when talking about the bullpen, whether or not it'd be Storen or Papelbon. And I said, I said that I was sure that Storen would be gone. And then Mike Rizzo, obviously listening to the live show, decided to make that move.
Yep, it definitely happened in like the 30 minutes right after the live
Yeah.
broadcast ended. So
So what are your thoughts on the Revere trade? Do you think that he is an adequate Denard Span replacement, and how do you think he fits in with the lineup?
well, as we talked about last week, he's not actually a Denard Span replacement because Denard Span really didn't play last year. So he's
Yep.
more a Michael A. Taylor replacement. And I think it's a really shrewd move. I like it. Drew Storen's time, obviously, as we've discussed, quite numbered in DC, just because he's gotten replaced several times, not really reacted well. He's folded in some big moments, and he was the typical change of scenery kind of guy. And Toronto had a glut of outfielders, and they had a need for a closer. So it was actually a pretty perfect fit, especially with the Nationals striking out on like Jason Hayward earlier in the offseason. So I think it's a good fit. I think Ben Revere is not my kind of player. He's not the highest on base percentage guy, but he's a hitter. He's a contact guy, and he's a speed guy. So you like seeing that. 2 out of 3 ain't bad for a center fielder. Just getting the speed, getting the contact ability. Because with the speed, you know, you're going to get on base. You're going to force the other team to make errors. So I think he's better than I thought he was, honestly. Like when you actually look at the numbers, I mean, he hit over 300 last year, and
For the last 3 years.
yeah, so that's pretty good. And Drew Storen wasn't going to be a national, so the hope was just to get something of value for him, something untrue, and they definitely did.
Oh
So
God, that's such a good one. Sorry.
yeah. So I like the move more than I did when it initially happened, but there was no chance of Storen sticking around. So it wasn't like, you know, I hadn't already said goodbye to Drew Storen in my heart of hearts. So Ben Revere, hitter, like that, like the speed. I'm really excited to see Davey Lopes working with Ben Revere. I think that's
Totally
going to be.
agree.
I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to see some stolen bases this year, and that's going to be great. He is the
Revere had
perfect stolen base kind of
31.
guy.
He had 31 stolen bases in 2015. He had 49 in 2014.
Yeah, I think it's
So
going to be more than that 31 for sure.
I think so too. I think that especially with a guy like Davey Lopes and Dusty Baker is going to want to run, and that is definitely a net positive gain from Denard's span is base stealing ability. But like you said, he's not replacing Denard Span. He's replacing Michael Taylor, and that's what I was saying last time. I just did not see last episode. I just did not see a way that the Nationals weren't going to make a move for another outfielder. I just don't think they believe that Michael Taylor is ready for that job yet. And I think that this move shows that. And not to mention, and like you said, and I said this to a coworker earlier today, Drew Storen was always leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So when you could turn a guy that was always leaving into a starting center fielder who has hit above 300 for the last 3 seasons, you've done well. And his on-base percentage last year was the highest it's been in his career.
Yeah, I think it was north of 250, right?
I think you mean 350, but it was
That's
not.
yeah. I can do numbers.
It was 342, so it was close.
Okay.
And you know, yes, that's buoyed by the fact that he hits 306 last year, but that 306 batting average is not a flash in the pan situation. His last 4 years of batting average is 306, 306, 305, 294. He makes a lot of contact. And so when you have a guy that makes a lot of contact that maybe doesn't have a very good walk rate, there is an advantage there. Now, he hits for absolutely no power at all, but with the speed he has at the top of the lineup, I like the move. The more I think about it, the more I like it. Like you said, he's not my traditional kind of, you know, high on base percentage. I really like it. Really like the, you know, like it as a sabermetric move, but I like the move.
Yeah, it's a fine move. It's better than seeing Bryce Harper in center field, that's for sure. The big gripe, I mean, his defense isn't what it used to be, obviously, because
Yeah.
you know, the older a player gets, the worse your defense generally is going to get, especially when you're trying to cover a lot of ground. He has a noodle arm.
Yeah, he can't throw.
Like, pretty sure I have a better arm than he does.
Yeah, but he knows that.
Yeah, he knows that. But so as long as he can be somewhat accurate, and I mean, the great news is you're looking at a shortstop in Danny Espinosa that can be a cutoff man that has a freaking rocket launcher attached to his shoulder.
Absolutely.
So he's smart enough to utilize that. and I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. But it puts Michael A. Taylor in a position that's going to suit him incredibly well as a fourth outfielder, where he can be a starter. He can play 3 times a week and rotate around the outfield and provide quality defense, a little bit of pop, and really get comfortable, because that's the kind of player he's. We talked last week about how he's not a starting caliber kind of player. His breakout season would be like 270.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at a really solid late inning defensive replacement slash backup starter for center field, which is incredibly valuable.
Yeah, and not to mention when you have a guy like Revere, as we discussed, he is not the rangiest center fielder in the world, and Jason Worth, who is no longer rangy at all in the outfield. You have defensive replacement for late innings when you have a lead, and Michael Taylor is the perfect situation. You put Taylor in center field, and then you put Revere in left, and all of a sudden, Revere going from center to left makes him makes him less of an issue late, and all of a sudden that outfield looks a little bit better as a late inning defensive replacement. So I like the move in all those ways. I think it moves the lineup around in the right way. And Michelle just asked, and so I want to hit the point now. She asked if I'm more optimistic about the season now that this move was made, and I think yes. I'm going to qualify that by saying that I'm still not super optimistic, but I think that the move slots players into places where they should be. Before a guy like Ben Revere joined the Nationals, there was nobody to put at the top of the lineup. The best option was probably Anthony Rendon, and it was not a good one.
Jason Worth?
Jason, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But not anymore. Sorry, Beard. I know. I'm sorry. But,
wow, Beard's going to get on Joe this time and not me.
I know.
That's weird.
I know. It's such a weird thing. Somebody actually in the questions asked me to give some Worth projections, which we'll do. Oh, I think it was the Dan. But I think that it gives me more confidence to have Revere at the top of the lineup, that then you could have whoever was going to lead off, and I think it probably would have been Worth or Rendon to get back down into a spot. Anthony Rendon, to me, is the perfect number 2 hitter. He's perfect. Yes. So the fact that you could put him second, have Harper third, the cleanup hitter spot is still – there's not an option for that for the Nationals at the moment. I guess today, assuming 100% health, it's probably Ryan Zimmerman.
Yeah.
But, is he healthy? Is he even capable of hitting 25 home runs anymore, let alone 30?
Standard Ryan Zimmerman questioning.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then below that, 50 probably have Daniel Murphy.
Yeah.
And then 6 probably Worth, maybe Ramos. And then 7, whichever one of those guys wasn't 6. And then having Danny Espinosa 8. And I think that's a better lineup than whatever they were putting out before Ben Revere was on the team. So I would have to say yes, that it does make me more optimistic.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't feel like getting into it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in a different place with it right now, I guess. I'm nervous that the Nationals window is more closed than we would like it.
Right, like we talked about last week.
Yeah, so I'm not as optimistic. I think it definitely makes the lineup better, but there's just still so many question marks going into the season. So I'm not optimistic or pessimistic. I'm just kind of waiting.
You're istic.
I'm just istic.
Yeah.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Perfect.
What do you think about Drew Storen's tenure in DC?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to spend some time on this. And I think it was Andrew Flax that said it, and I don't have the quote right in front of me, so I'm not going to try to quote it, but he said something along the lines of, he kind of got a raw deal, and seems like a really good guy, but I'm not sad to see him go.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time, 4 years defending Drew Storen. because I think it was worth defending, because I think that he has massive potential. And I think that he has the ability to be one of the two best relievers or closers in Major League Baseball. I think he could be that good. But he's not right now.
Yeah.
He's just not. And you're right. As you said earlier, he's a perfect change of scenery candidate. And hopefully he leaves and he has lots of success in the American League with a team that was extremely good last year. And yeah, I wish him the best. He seemed like a really good guy. One of my favorite Drew Storen moments is after 2012 Game 5, he stayed at that locker and answered any question anybody had, and he stood there and just took it in the mouth.
Yeah, and I want to say it's James O'Hara at Next Year DC. Might be someone else. If it's someone else, let me know. But as much as we love Drew Storen, I think James O'Hara said of the top 5 worst moments in Nats' last, 11 years of baseball, 3 of them have been at the hands of Drew Storen.
I think that was James. I think you're right.
And he's going to go down in history for Nationals as a divisive player just because what you said, great guy. He was really a great, fantastic closer.
Yep.
But he had some of the biggest meltdowns / big moment failings of any professional athlete. I mean, look at the kicker for the Vikings last weekend. I mean,
yeah.
That kind of thing. He did that multiple times.
And Storen's had it multiple
times. He did that
times.
multiple times. And
yeah.
So it's hard to separate the man from the, I guess, failings is the only word, the blow-ups. But it was big moments that he just wasn't able to get the job done. And it's like we've said before, at some point, you got to go with on field. And I mean, once is a fluke, twice is kind of sketchy, 3 times is, I don't want to say a trend, but something's not right there.
Well, and after the 2012 situation, yes, there were issues, obviously, that were in Drew Storen's head or in his mechanics or in his health. But let's not pretend like the organization did him any favors with how they handled the situation.
Of course.
He blew it up in 2012 to end the season. In 2013, in the offseason, they went out and got Rafael Soriano, who by all accounts was a past his prime closer, but he wasn't Drew Storen. And so, whoever decided to make that deal did. Drew Storen melted down at the beginning of the year and got sent down to the minor leagues, came back up and was incredibly good. Then in 2014, he had issues. And then he finally had the chance again in 2015, and they went out and got Jonathan Papelbon. So it's like they just never gave him, after that 2012 moment, they never gave him the chance to recover. Whether that's right or wrong, I'm not sure. I tend to lean on the side of wrong.
Yeah, but I tend to lean on the side of business.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, it's a business, and it's an emotional business. Whoever was in the front office or in the ownership group that started the whole thing by saying, go get Rafael Soriano, decided that they had made an emotional decision that they no longer trusted Drew Storen because of one game.
Right.
And that changed everything. And then it happened again 2 years later.
Yeah. So his legacy in DC is going to be interesting. I mean, obviously we wish him success and everything except when they play the Nats, but
I don't think they do.
Yeah.
World Series. Yeah.
But I mean, I wish him the best and I hope he does well, but I'm not sorry to see him go either.
Yeah, I wish that I could say that I was, but I just defended him so vehemently against people for so many years that it gets to a point where I can't defend it anymore.
Right. So
I wish him the best of luck, but yeah, that's the end. So final thing on him, where do you think he fits in their bullpen? Do you think he closes?
I think he closes.
I think he does too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think that it's just a smart, and I think that's the smart move. I think you bring him in, a guy who's proven that he could do the job. 2011 had 42 saves, I believe, and with an incredibly low ERA. You kind of take the change of scenery from the top and say, you're our guy and you're going to close in Toronto, period. Yep. And see what happens. And I think that's the smart way of going about it.
Definitely.
So, all right. So other interesting little development from Natstown that came up, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but we certainly have to talk about it. Former Nats pitching coach Steve McCatty, who was at the helm of the Washington Nationals pitching staff for how many years? Since Manny Acta.
A lot of years.
I mean, he was in DC as a major league pitching coach for a very long time. He tried to get the pitching coach job with the Tigers because that's close to home for him, and he would have gone to be with Jordan Zimmerman. He did not get that job, and now he's a single-A pitching coach in the Indians system.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about it other than that's super bizarre. Like, I can't imagine a circumstance under which a pitching coach who, by all accounts, did an incredibly good job of handling pitching extremely good pitchers over the course of many, many years, whether it's the beginning of Steven Strasburg's career, the beginning of Jordan Zimmerman's career, the prime of Max Scherzer's career, the prime of Gio Gonzalez's career. I know I'm missing people, but he handled a lot of really good arms and did a good job at it. And to then get a single-A job just seems weird.
Yeah, it's where's the team located?
I don't know. I believe it's in the Indians organization, if I remember correctly, but
yeah,
maybe he really wanted to be close to home, and this team is close to home.
Right. It could also be a situation like he is a single-A pitching coach, but he's first on the depth chart, you know?
Yeah, to get a guy in the organization, and he's making more than anybody on that staff, even the manager of the single-A team.
Right. So it's an interesting move. Maybe he wanted to get back to his roots. Maybe it was, this is the job we have right now, but we want you and you're next. We don't like our pitching coach and we want you, but we're not allowed to fire him yet.
Yeah, I mean,
give us till June. Yeah,
that's possible. He's with the Lake County Captains.
Oh, Lake County, yeah, that's right outside of Cleveland.
So it's close to the big club, which that makes sense.
Yeah, so I would have a feeling I'm gonna just slide into the Indians DMs just like that.
Yeah, just have a guy close just in case.
Yeah,
and he's from Detroit, so that gets him closer to home.
Yeah, so interesting move, but yeah.
It's just weird to go from this.
Good for him. Enjoy going to the Bowling Green Hot Rods.
Nice, and just enjoy riding the bus a lot.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah, see Boulder.
Yes.
So a thing we talked about last week. We talked about the whole conversation about the Nats possibly trading Gio Gonzalez for their center fielder. We obviously know how that turned out. They got their center fielder without having to trade him, but it turns out that there are multiple reports now. John Heyman reported it before, and now someone out of I think the Miami Herald reported, Joe Fasario maybe, that said that the Nationals really did make an offer to the Marlins in order to try to get Christian Yelich to play in the outfield for the Washington Nationals in 2016, and Gio Gonzalez was part of that piece. What are your thoughts on that? A push for Christian Yelich that involved Gio Gonzalez, and how reasonable was it even?
Well, I would have to see what else was a part of the deal, because there's no way that's all the Nationals would be giving up.
No way.
It would be some pieces.
Yeah. Because
Yelich is going to be one of the premier power hitters in the National League in when does the season start?
In April.
Yeah, then.
Yeah, exactly.
Then that's when.
Yeah.
Yelich is a great player. Obviously, Gio's got that Miami connection, so I'm not surprised that Miami needs all the goodwill they can, because they really have one of the worst owners in sports.
Yeah, it's very high on the list.
I mean, I think right now he's just slightly above Stan Kroenke. Joe has no idea who Stan Kroenke is.
No, I'm currently eating pizza.
Oh, nice. Owner of the now Los Angeles Rams.
I knew the answer, but
Oh, well, there you
pizza.
go. Yeah. Oh, pizza. That's fine. So it would definitely have involved some Nationals prospects that Mike Rizzo probably would be hesitant to give up. I would be okay with giving up most of the prospects. I mean, don't touch Giolito, and you can take Gio, and hell, we'll even throw in, Michael A. Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I would be very okay with that trade.
Yelich is real good. And he's with very limited opportunities as a below average center fielder, but he could do the job. And that's probably what the Nationals were thinking at the time.
Yeah. He would make up for any defensive deficiencies with massive amounts of power.
Like all of it.
Yes.
Oh
my God, Harper and Yelich.
Yeah, I know. And
I mean, they've got Yelich and Stanton, so that's
it's a pretty good
impressive.
punch,
Yeah.
1-2 punch or 3-4 punch or whatever. But the most remarkable thing that I've ever seen with Christian Yelich was when I was on the field for batting practice for a game a couple years back, and
big shot.
Yelich was doing was hitting batting practice, and he hit a ball further than I've ever seen anybody hit a ball in the history of time. It went onto the center field concourse. I mean, at Nationals Park, it was insane. I mean, like up where Shake Shack is. I'm not even kidding. It was preposterous.
I had some Shake Shack on Sunday night. That was really good. It was really good. I had, let's see, what did it have on it? It had, I think there was some cheese on there.
So we're going for food sponsors.
Let's see. There was, there was this.
Did you just say, I think there was some cheese on there?
There's some cheese. I think it was like a pepper jack, maybe. There was bacon. There was definitely bacon. And then they had this like, kind of this homemade ranch. Oh man, it was really good.
Yeah, it's very.
I went before I saw Ovechkin score his 500th goal. So.
And what other goal?
And 501st.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that whole thing. And you won a hockey stick.
But, yes, I did.
That's neither here nor there.
Because I'm charming.
That's true. That's true.
And I have boyish good looks.
Yeah. So it would have taken a lot more than Gio for Yelich.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, we got food. Food always distracts the Nats talk on the go, guys. Oh, but it would have been.
Oh man, sorry.
A real thing.
I was just thinking about when we did our live show, and a Nats fan brought Bonjon chicken.
Yeah.
Man.
And at Minnesota Nicer made phenomenal margs.
Dude. Okay. So, anyway. Baseball.
Yeah. So Yelich is good, but it would have taken a lot more than Gio Gonzalez. Next topic. So Ian Kennedy was a thing that we were going to talk about last week, but I'm pretty sure we ran out of time, so we didn't talk about it all that much, if we did at all. But Ian Kennedy's on the free agent block, I should say, and I think that he is a guy who, if you slot him at the bottom half of the Nationals' pitching rotation, he would do really well. I think that he fits that mold well of a 4 or a 5 that can throw really hard and strike a lot of guys out. But he's tied to a qualifying offer, and that would make me inclined to not want to go near him. Do you agree?
I agree. The Nationals have already lost a pick.
Yeah.
If
it wasn't for the Murphy thing, I would have probably had a different opinion on it, but I don't want it to happen with another top pick.
Yeah, and it looks like he's actually nearing a deal with the Royals right now as we speak. So
well, there you go.
I don't think that's going to happen. But it actually goes to one of our questions that we got. I don't remember who it was. Maybe you can look it up as I ramble on. But if our rotation is set at, Scherzer, Strath, blah, 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 and then Ross and Roark.
It was Daniel Guzman, our friend Quo Vadimus.
Ah, yes. So what about a platypus?
Yes.
It's actually an Italian airline.
Yes. Oh, God. So good.
Yeah, I'm
So
crushing the references tonight.
the question was, will the team roll out a rotation of Max, Strauss, Gio, Ross, Roark? Is that it? And should fans be concerned? And that kind of ties into the
Yeah, that
whole
kind of
Ian
ties in. I
Kennedy.
don't think it's going to be Ian Kennedy. I think there's going to be another move.
Yeah.
I don't think that Rizzo's done with the rotation, and I think the odd man out is going to be Tanner Roark. And I know you agree with me.
Yeah.
I think the best signing out there for the Nationals that would fit right in that 5 hole is actually Cliff Lee.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, he's looking for a 1-year deal. He's looking for a deal with a contender. He's not going to cost a lot of money. He's going to cost, $6-7 million.
With a boatload of incentives.
With a boatload of incentives that if he's healthy, he could reach, which everyone would be fine with because the incentives would mean he'd be doing really well.
Exactly.
But I really like that. But I also would not rule out Rizzo doing something insane like signing Giovanni Gallardo.
Yeah, it's certain.
It wouldn't shock me. I mean, Rizzo's done crazier things.
Well, especially as the offseason goes on and guys like Gallardo, who everybody kind of was like, oh, yeah, he'll get a deal real quick, did not get a deal.
He's waiting.
And that could work to the Nationals' advantage to getting a person like that. So,
and I would not be opposed to signing someone like Giovanni Gallardo, who's 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You could sign him for 4 years and 75, and that's a darn good deal.
Especially now, and when you're not going to go for Ian Kennedy, and I don't think you should at this point. I think that with the rotation as currently constructed, the Nationals, they need something else is required.
I think something else is required, but I don't believe that if nothing happens, we should be alarmed.
No, I would agree.
Which is, I believe, the second part of that question.
Yeah, I don't think alarmed would. There's a legitimate chance we see Lucas Giolito in 2016.
I think we are. I think we will.
So to go crazy and go get somebody huge for $150 million is just not the cards and doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense.
Because you have a lot of guys you're going to have to pay going forward, and it's not one of your biggest needs. But I do think that the Nationals are active on the market. How many times have you heard Mike Rizzo say you can never have enough pitching?
No, I mean, look at every single year that any baseball team has ever been in existence.
Yeah, exactly. So I like the idea. I really like the idea of a Cliff Lee move. I know that there was a conversation that the Nationals were involved in a Cliff Lee conversation months ago. I don't know what happened there. Hopefully something else comes up in that conversation, because I think he would be a really good fit. Like you said, an inexpensive, but like you said, $6 to $7 million base major league deal with $5 to $10 million in incentives.
Yeah.
Just a crazy amount of incentives. So it can get him, a $15-16 million if he exceeds all expectations. But that would probably involve like finishing top 3 in Cy Young or something,
right? Which I'd be okay with that.
Oh yeah, me too.
So yeah, I don't think the rotation's done. I think there's going to be another signing. It wouldn't shock me if it's a player like Ian Kennedy or like a Corey Kluber or what? Not Corey Kluber. There's.
I would love Corey Kluber.
Not Corey Kluber. There was I don't know, Corey something. I forget. I was looking at the list and I was like, oh yeah, that'd be good. Lubke.
Oh yeah, sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a player like that, or I wouldn't be surprised if it was a splashy, waiting to sign kind of guy like Giovanni Gallardo. I would not be surprised either way because Mike Rizzo is crazy as hell.
Yes, he is.
So either way, I don't think that Nationals fans should be concerned if, for some reason, the opening day rotation involves Tanner Roark, because I think one of the problems that Tanner Roark had last year is one of the same problems that Ross Detweiler had. He didn't have a defined role, and he jumped back and forth. I think if Tanner Roark knows at the start of spring training, you are going to be a starter this year, and he can have a 6-week spring training where he is strictly a starter, I think that's going to help him mentally and physically prepared to do the job. And we're talking a fifth starter here.
Yep.
I mean, and the Nationals are lucky that they're going to have two of the worst teams in baseball in their division, in the Phillies and the Braves.
Yep.
So the NL East is going to be weak again. It's going to be weak.
Yeah, you're totally right. And
not
fifth
concerned.
starters don't have to be, Doug Fister and Edwin Jackson. Usually it's way worse than that. So
I hope Doug Fister gets a deal soon. I know he's looking for 2 years, so hopefully someone gives it to him because he's a good dude.
Agreed.
Awesome.
So last thing before we dig into questions, spring training broadcast schedule came out for the Nationals. Nothing different than yes, that's accurate.
Yep.
Nothing different than any previous year. 14 of the 22 or 23 games will be covered in some sort of broadcast medium. Only 7 will be available on the home broadcast. Pretty standard. It's, a combination of really it's Masson.
Yep.
Being Masson.
Yep.
And because the radio guys are there for a vast majority of of spring training. So you can't really blame the flagship in this situation. They could do more, but they're doing a lot.
Right.
So it's unfortunate that there are 7 games during spring training that you won't be able to get any sort of coverage. And I know that a lot of the times the commentators hate it, especially towards the end. And it doesn't get good ratings, and a lot of people don't watch. But you build goodwill from the beginning with fans that want to watch it, and then it grows, and you make the initial investment. And I know Masson's a huge part of it, but for reference, the Cardinals are broadcasting in some manner every single one of their spring training games, including their opening spring training game against a college. So it's frustrating for sure. But remember, if you are an MLB.TV subscriber, there are no spring training blackouts, so you might be able to get Nationals game with the away feed.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say I'm not at all looking forward to watching a lot of Mets and Cardinals and Astros broadcasts.
Yes.
Because they'll actually show things.
Yeah, they'll actually show the game, so that's how you have to watch it in order to watch some national spring training games. So it's too bad, but for the people, especially the ones that don't have MLB.TV to watch that, because then they really don't have any other recourse. There's no other way to watch, unfortunately. And
on the bright side, Nats Talk on the Go will be represented at spring training in Vieira, so that's pretty cool.
That is true. Kurt will be at spring training, so he'll be and rocking a new Nats Talk on the Go T-shirt that is yet to be debuted.
It is fresh to death, and it will not be available for purchase.
There will be others available for purchase,
right.
However. So any other things before we hit?
No, let's dig right in, man. Let's
go.
I'm gearing up for these awesome questions.
Okay, let me get to the front.
Ready?
Of the
okay.
List. Give me a D, give me an E, give me an S, give me an I. Where does he end up? Michelle wants to know.
Chicago on the south side.
Yeah, I think that's really the only option left.
I think there's one other option, and I like that option as well. I'm not sure it would happen, and that's Colorado.
Yeah, they're probably going to need a shortstop, I guess.
They're going to need a shortstop.
Yeah.
And they have the thing is they've got a pretty decent prospect. Blanking on the name, maybe our good friend the Baron can help us out with the Rocky shortstop prospect, but Jose Reyes is not going to start the season. He is going to be suspended, and I'm okay with that. And I hope it's a long suspension because he deserves it. So I think Ian Desmond would do very well in Colorado. His numbers there are off the charts. Something was going around the Twitter earlier today. I think his slash line in Colorado starts with a 4. So
yeah, that's pretty impressive, and I think it'd be a good landing spot for him on that kind of note. And he's a guy that hits for power, which that's going to go well there. But the Rockies just don't historically spend any money at all, so it's hard to imagine. But maybe they decide if it comes down to it and it ends up being that kind of pillow type deal, 1 or 2 years, then maybe they say,
Yeah.
hey, we need a gap to get to our prospect. We'll pay you $25 million. Come play here.
I
And
mean,
maybe he
we've
does
talked
it.
that. Yeah, we've talked that Desi's really only spot was San Diego, and San Diego signed Alexi Ramirez.
Yeah.
So his
Which
market
that's a bad
is
deal.
it's yeah.
He's not. I'm sorry, he's not very good. Ian Desmond would have been a much better signing. Maybe he wanted more money. I don't know, but
Yeah. So I sadly I think that Ian Desmond is gonna have to just take what he gets. I think he missed his chance.
yeah.
Sadly, I think he's either gonna have to take a pillow contract for not a lot of money, which no one's gonna want to do, or he's just gonna have to take 3 years, 40 million, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gonna get even close. He's not even gonna get half of what he is worth or was offered.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately he's not going to get anywhere close to half what the Nationals offered. It's very unlikely. He's just unfortunately in a situation of absolutely no leverage at all.
Yep, gambled, lost. It happens.
It happens.
Just like I did on the freaking Powerball.
You and 100 million other people.
Gosh. Anyway, yeah, I want to see him go somewhere. I think Colorado would be a good fit. I would love to see him raking out at Coors Field, but I really think he's going to end up with the White Sox, so we can hear his home runs accompanied by the most annoying broadcaster in sports.
Yeah. Although at the beginning of the season, former Nationals farmhand broadcaster Jason Benetti, who was with the Syracuse Chiefs, will be taking over in the first half of the season for Hawk Harrelson.
Oh, very nice.
So that would be a nice little combination.
Oh, that is adorable.
So another question from Michelle.
Who rocked it by the questions tonight. Thank you.
What's that?
She was wonderful on the questions. She had a lot of good ones.
Yes, she did. We got a lot of good ones from a lot of people. Michelle let it off with some great ones, though. What are the odds that the bullpen is set, and who fills what roles?
I think there's a 0% chance that the bullpen is set.
0%.
Just because the nature of bullpens. I mean, we're talking 7 players. There's going to be injuries. There's going.
Well, I was going to say, so barring injuries, what does your percentage become?
5.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's some players in there like, he's not assigned a spot. There's a lot of these low dollar signings that you could easily see someone who's brought in on a big league invite throw up a .50 ERA in 12 innings and go north with the team, even if it's just for a week. You really just don't know what's going to happen. There's so many variables, and there's still a ton of relievers out there on the market that Rizzo could sign. So I don't think it's done. I don't honestly think it's ever going to be done. So
no, I don't think it is either. I do think that barring any one of the people currently slotted into the bullpen being traded, I think that there's a 75% chance that the bullpen is set.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because the 40-man roster is full.
Yes.
And they've already, DFA'd a couple of guys. Last week they DFA'd Eric Davis and Taylor Hill were DFA'd last week to make space for, I don't remember who, but for signings, I don't remember
for people.
Yeah. So I believe
it was Steven Drew and Daniel Murphy.
Yep, those are the ones. Thank you, because I was like, Ben Revere. Nope, that was Drew Storen. I don't know. So I think there's a really good chance that the bullpen is not a really good chance, but better than 50%, and definitely up to 75% chance if one of the people currently in the bullpen, and looking at you, Paps, doesn't get traded. I really think that you're looking at a bullpen that's going to be the bullpen that, barring injury, comes north. But like you said, spring training, there's always that guy. It feels like every year. Like
there's going to be a Brian Broderick.
Oh, shut up! That's exactly the example I was just.
Yep. I know it was. I got you, buddy. I got
2011
you. This
Brian
is why
Broderick.
people listen to Nats Talk on the Go.
That's
because
insane.
We can just drop Brian Broderick and Yellow Card lyrics and Sports Night references all up in everyone's faces.
And a Yellow Card lyric, man.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep. Max Duchene's going to like that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I think it's set. I think Jonathan Papelbon closes. I think that, again, set-ish. I think Jonathan Papelbon closes. I think Blake Trinan pitches late innings. I think Felipe Rivero might be the 8th inning guy. And then beyond that, I think there's a lot of
relief. I mean, you can't really say the bullpen's set if the rotation's not set, because if another start and Roark's going in the pen, and then it pushes someone out. So
totally, yeah, and that's a really good point. Really, really good point. Because I think Roark ends up in the bullpen personally, but
yeah, but then you need someone in the rotation. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
Good point.
Next
question. So I'm gonna skip that one temporarily because I want to finish with it. What is the team going to do with Clint Robinson? Fang wants to know.
Keep him for as long as humanly possible.
Yeah,
and that's 5 years.
Yeah, because he was a rookie at 30 years old, which is a really good story. But he's probably never getting a true major league deal.
No, he has barely over 1 year of service time.
Yeah,
like 1.046 or something like that.
Yeah. So
why in the world would you ever do anything with him other than keep him as the eventual starting first baseman when Zimmerman gets hurt?
Yeah, and he's the new Timo.
Yep,
he's the guy that you just
left-handed
under control forever, but he's left-handed and can play the same position. So he's like, he's the new guy that's going to fill that role.
Yep. Keep him. I think he's in line for, another 260, 340, 400 season,
Yeah. And that's awesome.
For a bench guy that's going to cost you $500,000.
Yeah. And he is among other guys, but he is a huge part of that bench because at some point this year, if you could bet you're going to need a first baseman for 30 games.
Yep. I said when Zim gets hurt. Yeah.
So, and he is a phenomenally qualified backup.
Yep.
So I really like just keeping him around as 25-man roster depth.
Why in the world would you ever get rid of a left-handed power hitting, guy under team control? Yeah. Forever.
Yeah. I mean, you just keep him until he's not. And like I alluded to, unfortunately for him, he becomes a free agent at 36.
Yep.
So that's not likely you're getting a big free agent deal at 36. So,
nope.
So I agree. So Beard wants to know, will Ben Revere hit a home run this year? I say yes.
I say no.
Yeah, I think he finds a little bit of that spanning out in center field and finds his way to.
He finds some old man strength.
Exactly, finds a way to pull it over the right field wall for. I mean, it's going to be a wall scraper, but he'll find a way.
This guy played for how long in Philly and didn't hit a home run?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And that place is so small.
Philly. So, no. I don't think it happens. Actually, hold on. Clarification.
He hit 2 in 14.
Clarification. In 14 or 15?
In 14, he hit 2. He also hit 2 in 15, but I don't know if one of them was in Toronto or not.
Okay. Clarification. Would an inside the Parker count?
I'm going to say no.
Okay, well then no.
Yeah, okay.
If it was, dude's going to get one in Miami.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool actually.
I mean, it's not hard.
Yeah, if you hit one to center field, you're running.
Just run. I mean, that place is like the Polo Grounds. It's insane.
Yeah. Good point.
Yep.
So we got 2 more, I think, here. How Fang wants to know, and I know Craig loved this question.
I do. I do.
How do you feel about Daniel Murphy being a Spurs fan? And for those of you who don't know, that's not the San Antonio Spurs. That is the Tottenham Hotspur.
Tottenham.
That of the English Premier League. And what Premier League team would the Nationals be? And I know the answer to the second question.
You know the answer? Why don't you go ahead and drop it on us?
Well, we talked about this when Craig and I are Everton fans.
Yes.
And when we decided to become Everton fans, because, we do things together, because I'd like to tell you about my best friend.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
So good. But we felt that the Nationals were very similar to Everton in many ways, in the way that the organization was run at the time, that we became fans, that it was a lot of focus on young, big-time talent that you can count on maybe not being around forever, and you occasionally make the big money signing for a big player to kind of pull your roster together and a couple of veteran people, but you rely on good management and good play calling and signing really young, talented people and playing a good brand of soccer. So the Premier League team would be Everton because that's why we picked them.
Yeah, that is why we picked them.
Anything else to add?
That's why. Well, this is going to shock many people. I put a lot of thought into this question.
Nice.
And I actually don't think that the Nats are Everton right now.
No, not anymore. I was saying at the time.
At the time, absolutely. But right now, do you have a change for right now?
I haven't had any time to think about it, so go ahead.
Fine. I have. I see the Nats as 3 different Premier League teams. I see them. Oh yeah, dude. I went deep.
Huh.
Arsenal, who are also.
I like that one.
The largest owner is Stan Kroenke, who was mentioned earlier.
Yeah, nice.
But Arsenal, their recent history is they've always, for the last 15 years, been a good team, being in the top of the league, the top 20%, getting those top 4 positions, but never ever winning anything. So, yes, that sucks, but the Nationals, all the hopes in the world, all the great players in the world, World Series favorites twice, really couldn't close the deal, much like Arsenal has done. And then I said Southampton, because Southampton has a very solid recent history of developing phenomenal players. See Steven Strasburg and Bryce Harper and Lucas Giolito and Anthony Rendon and
Ryan Zimmerman
and lots of other players. So really good depth. I mean, right before, I want to say, which trade was it? Was it the Gio Gonzalez trade where the Nationals were rated top system in baseball by Baseball America?
Yes, it was.
So, I mean, on the field product and depth, Southampton. And then recently, kind of as soon as Steven Strasburg and Bryce Harper came, the Nationals started shelling out some money. It kind of started with the Beard coming in, with Jason Worth coming in, who, by the way, I believe only had a goatee when he signed.
It's true. It was a baby beard at the time.
But since that signing, the Nationals have shelled out some money. I mean, Ryan Zimmerman getting some serious bank, and then Max Scherzer. So that recent influx of cash from the new owners, the Learners, some big splashes that have surprised many people. Manchester City.
Nice. I figured that's where you were going with that.
Manchester City. And Daniel Murphy is awful for being a Spurs fan.
Yes. That's the most important thing we want to say is that's terrible. Yeah, friends don't let friends be Spurs fans.
No, it's very Spursy. But if you wanna, have a good, 7-minute span and laugh a bunch, go look up Ted Lasso on the YouTube machine, and you'll see something about Tottenham, and But I'm glad he likes soccer. That's pretty cool. But
yeah, that part I like.
But no, I obviously put a lot of thought into that one.
Yeah, that was good. That was awesome. I liked it. And to round out, going back to baseball, this is the one that's probably going to get me in some trouble.
Oh, excellent.
But maybe
first
not.
Off, Beard didn't yell at you. Beard didn't yell at you.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Beard did yell at me.
Oh, Beard did.
Just on my personal account.
There we go. Good. Thank God. Good.
Very much. And then, so the final question tonight is from Johan. Wants to know if we could trade Harper to another team for their superstar, not including Trout. Who would it be, or would you not make the trade?
I would not make the trade.
I know.
There is no one at all. There is one I would consider for about 0.2 seconds, before saying nope, 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 nope. That would be that the honey badger running away with the nope gif.
Yep.
That's what I would do. So the only player I would even come close to considering would be Chris Bryant.
Yeah. That's
the only one. The only one. And it would be for a split second and I'd be done. And the only reason is because of the years of control. That's it.
Yep.
That's the only reason. And I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I think that the thing that makes it compelling is because of the years of control. Bryce Harper only has 2 years left. And so that's what is concerning. If the question didn't say outside of Trout, I just say, well, Mike Trout, and not necessarily because I think Mike Trout is going to be a better player for the next couple of years, but because I think he's going to be a comparable player and he's under team control through 2020. And so that is ultimately why, for like super cheap.
He's not going to be a comparable player.
What's that?
He's not going to be a comparable player.
Trout and Harper?
Oh, okay. Well, okay. All right, fine. All right.
Well, who do you think I was talking
about? I thought you were talking about Brian. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Brian's going to be very good, but he's not on that tier. I'm saying if Mike Trout was allowed to be considered in this list, I would consider Mike Trout just because I think he's going to be a comparable player to Harper, and Mike Trout is under team control through 2020 for cheap. So I would make that trade. Other than that, I cannot think of a 1-for-1 trade that I would make that would make any sense for the Nationals to give up on the next 2 years.
Yeah.
I do not think that it makes sense. Now, if I really gave it some time and I thought to make a trade, some sort of trade that was Bryant, Schwarber, and Rizzo or something, I'd make that trade. But I as a 1-for-1 superstar for superstar, outside of Trout, I don't make that trade.
No, me either. There's like I said, 0.2 seconds, and then I'd be like, nope.
Do you make it for Trout?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I wanted to.
No question.
Make sure that we were on the same page there.
Yeah. Love Mike Trout. He is, as amazing as Harper was this year, I still think Trout is the best player in baseball.
I agree. I think he's Bryce Harper is going to be very good for a very long time, and he had an historically good year in 2015.
Yes.
But that does not mean he's going to have one in 16 or 17 or 18. I think he'll still be very good, but can he possibly be as good as he was this year? I don't know.
And Trout's been that for 4 straight years.
Exactly. He's been that good for more years and is so cheap.
I know we've had this conversation a couple times offline. I think Mike Trout is about 3 years away, if that, 2.5, if I'm being honest, 2.5 years away from being a Hall of Fame lock.
Oh, I completely agree.
Like 6.5 seasons of Mike Trout, a lock for the Hall of Fame. Not get in on the 9th ballot, not a get in on the 3rd ballot. No, lock.
Yeah. I completely agree.
He's that good.
So off the top of your head, is there another player under 30 that you would put on that list that is already there?
That is a Hall of Famer?
Because I can think of one.
Clayton Kershaw.
That's the one.
Yep.
Yeah.
No question.
Clayton Kershaw could retire right now and would be in the Hall of Fame.
I would put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Yep.
So yeah, that's it. We rounded out the list. Thanks for all the awesome questions, you guys.
I know.
Our listeners just do half of our work for us.
Seriously, I don't know why. You guys could just do these in Twitter conversations. I'm glad you guys listen to us ramble.
Yeah, exactly, because the questions are really great. And so if you've got questions, send them over. We try to answer every question we possibly can within the hour-ish that we have available. But I got nothing else. Are you all wrapped up? Anything you want to add before we have Josh Nelson and his band play us off?
How was the pizza?
I have this one little sliver that I was about to take a bite of, so I'm glad I didn't, because then I would have pizza in my mouth. But it was good.
Well, nice. Good. That's good.
It was good.
One more thing to close out the show. What signing or trade happens in the next 45 minutes?
I think we break the curse tonight. I don't think the Nationals make a signing.
I don't think so either, but if not, it's going to be the Nationals trade Tanner Roark for Mike Trout.
Nice. That's a good trade. I like that trade.
It's a great trade.
It's good.
Fills a need for both teams.
Yeah. Nice. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.